Welcome to the show, guys. Today we're talking about the top 5 wide receivers. Yes, we're here in the off season, but we're diving in. We're talking about this stuff prior to anybody else. So yeah, I know it's January. Yeah, I know it's early, but why not dive in and try to scope out who the top 5 receivers are for 2024 fantasy football? That's what we're going to do here, guys. So Lion mentality, smash a thumbs up. We're going to dive into this. I'm excited to dive into this. I'm super pumped talking fantasy football all year round. And if you're just as passionate about me, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I've linked it below here. Also, if you want to follow my brand new Joe Commode talk show, tons of amazing content here for you guys off season. Smash thumbs up, Lion mentality. The thumbs up really helps, and drop a comment below. So I'm keeping it interactive for you all year round, from interviews on the Joe Commode show to content here. Make sure you focus here on the Fantasy Football Counselor podcast. And again, smashing that thumbs up really helps get the message out there. And if you're here in January, you are super passionate, and I appreciate you guys, okay? So we're going to talk about 5 wide receivers that should be on top for next year. Will they be, after the offseason hits, after the draft is done? Should these guys be top 5? That's something we got to figure out and discuss right here, right now, okay? So what I'm going to do is a screen share here. I'm sure you guys can see it here with all of the receivers. Now, if you guys are on the phone, turn the phone sideways. I had to do this type of view because I want to actually show the actual fantasy points in PPR going across here, okay? Now, in here, there's a bunch of pretenders, potentially. Puka Nacua, Mike Evans. I don't think will duplicate DJ Moore. So who are the top 5? Now, CeeDee Lamb finished on top, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra, A.J. Brown, Puka Nacua. This is after 17 weeks, so we haven't included the week 18 yet, but we're doing this 17 weeks in. So I take a look at this, and I'm like, I question, like, will these guys finish on top? First and foremost, if you guys did watch my running back video, we're going to still be going robust RB early. We're going to be securing those running backs. Now you have those guys in the dead zone or whatever it's called, where you get them a little bit later on. See, I don't even believe in all these little terms they're coming up with: dead zone, running back, dead zone, all this stuff, whatever it's called. I don't care. The fact of the matter is you need to secure those running backs early and guys that get workhorse, volume, and that is starting to fade out in the NFL. But when I look at wide receivers, I'm going to go from 5 to 1. I would say, top 5, I think Ja'Marr Chase is in the mix. Now, I finished 10th here, as you can see, 17 weeks in, 1,197 yards, played 15 games. He did miss a couple games here. Ja'Marr Chase has to be in the top 5. So I got him at number 5, okay? And again, things are going to change. Now, mind you, again, I will probably not be drafting any of these wide receivers this upcoming year, these early guys, anyway, because I get the value later. I always get the value later. People wasted top picks, guys, last year on guys like T. Higgins and Jalen Waddle, right? And, I don't see Higgins here. He was a second-round pick. Is he a top guy after 17 weeks? No, he's not. I don't see it. Where's T. Higgins here? Is he top 10? No. Is he top 20? No, right? So, even a guy like Waddle, like Jalen Waddle is sitting 29th, everybody. 29th is where Jalen Waddle is sitting, okay? So when I look at a guy like Jalen Waddle, I'm like, dude, 29th, that is absolutely insane. This is a guy that was being drafted in around round 3, and he's sitting there 29th. You can see it here. So you see Garrett Wilson here at 23. So to be honest with you, I got Ja'Marr. So let's work our way down. So again, this is more of like not so much a list, but more of a discussion here, okay? So number 5, I got Ja'Marr Chase. I think he finishes top 5 next year. The talent is there. The opportunity is there. Maybe a healthy Burrow playing the entire season could be good. So number 5, I got Ja'Marr Chase. After that, it's a bit of a crapshoot with these early guys. Now, you can make an argument for CeeDee Lamb here. CeeDee Lamb, again, had a pinnacle year, as you can see here. 1,651 yards, 10 touchdowns. Is that duplicatable? Probably not. It was a pinnacle year. But you have to put CeeDee Lamb top 5, don't you? Or is he going to have, a bust year based on a pinnacle year? That's something to say, to question. But as of right now, I'm going to put CeeDee Lamb at number 4, factoring in a bit of a decline here, okay? Then after that, Tyreek Hill, how long can he maintain his run? He's been consistent. He only played 15 games. There's been years where he's had some down years, right? So Tyreek Hill, is he going to go down next year? I don't know. But based on the talent opportunity, Tua getting better, I got him at 3. So Ja'Marr Chase, guys, coming at number 5. CeeDee Lamb, number 4. Tyreek Hill, number 3. What do we do at 1 and 2? Who's going to be the top receiver? That is the question I like to ask because it's tough. And at the end of the day, I don't care because I'm not going to be drafting the top receiver anyway, right? There's an easily good chance, okay? Now, some people may disagree that if Aaron Rodgers comes back, and I mean this seriously, that Garrett Wilson is the top receiver for next year. Again, he finished 23rd after 17 weeks, as you can see here, 23. Not very good, but again, he had a crapshoot at a quarterback. But there's a lot of guys that can emerge, right, as the one receiver, and one of them being, of course, a guy like maybe even Chris Olave could have a good year, right? Garrett Wilson, like I said, a lot of guys that are top, even Tank Dell could be a top receiver next year. Will you draft him on top and make him your number one receiver? No. So who is the top receiver? I would assume maybe AJ Brown's a candidate for that. AJ Brown at number 2. Okay. He's going to bump up a little bit, had a bit of a down year. Touchdowns could be a little bit better. When you look at him last year, he had 11 touchdowns, 7 this year, a little bit down on the yardage. So after 17 games, he played 16 this week. So pretty close. So on par numbers. Okay. I'm going to put AJ Brown at 2. But again, guys, when we're talking wide receivers, understand, I want this to sink in. You're probably not going to get some of these top 5 receivers. You got to get the value later. That's why in 16 rounds, I explain where to get the value at wide receiver. And again, fading all these guys. So Ja'Marr Chase, good value at 5, top 5, very, very viable. And I put Garrett Wilson at 2, very viable on a major increase. The talent is there. This guy's sitting 23rd. And he had a crappy quarterback. So I got him at 2. So who is number 1? Sorry, AJ Brown at 2 and Garrett. So I'm going to put Garrett Wilson at 1. Sorry, Garrett Wilson at 1, AJ Brown at 2. I stand corrected. So that's it, man. So let's highlight this, okay? So we got Ja'Marr Chase at 5. Stick with me on this. Ja'Marr Chase at 5. He's going to be a top 5 guy, okay? We've got CeeDee Lamb at 4. Tyreek Hill at 3. Let me know if I stand corrected. AJ Brown at 1. And I think Garrett Wilson is going to come up and emerge as the number 1 receiver. Am I going to have to draft Garrett Wilson as the number 1 receiver next year? No, I don't have to because he's going to be lower because he didn't finish on top. It's not going to be copy and paste. But he can easily finish as a top 5 wide receiver, okay? So understand, guys, a lot of guys, things go up and down, right? A lot of guys that finished on top last year are going to be copied and pasted as the top receivers this year, but it doesn't end up like that. That's what I want to talk about. I want to have an open discussion here because everyone else is just going to copy and paste. Okay, CeeDee Lamb finished on top. He's going to be the number 1 receiver next year. Tyreek Hill is number 2. He's going to be number 2 receiver. It doesn't work like that. You got to project, anticipate, and really, really configure on how things could be potentially. So that being said, if I'm projecting Garrett Wilson as the number 1, number 2 wide receiver for next year, where he's going to finish, and I can get him in the second round, I'm going to get a running back round 1. I'm going to get Garrett Wilson round 2. Does this make sense? So I see the value, see the guys that are going to be moving up, and get those guys for the right value in 16 rounds. I lay this out in my solution, which comes out in April, okay? So stick with me, guys. You got to know where the value is. You got to know where the guys that are going to rise and the guys that are going to fall. So again, looking back at this list, there's a ton of guys here that could decline next year, guys, okay? Puka Nacua, amazing year. Cooper Kupp was banged up all season, right? Mike Evans, this guy's in what season is he in, this guy? He's in his 10th season. He's coming off a pinnacle year, right? So is that going to continue next year? Yeah, he could be safe, but he's going to be more expensive this year, okay? DJ Moore coming off a pinnacle year, right? Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams had a bit of a down year. Ayuk had a good year. Are these guys going to sustain this? Adam Thielen, 15 amongst wide receivers. Is that going to continue? I doubt it. Guys like Chris Olave, young, hungry, they're going to start emerging. Rashee Rice going to emerge. Garrett Wilson. Calvin Ridley had a down year. We understand. Addison could be great value next year, right? We're going to have to see what happens with that situation. Tons of guys. Maybe Drake London emerges. He gets a good quarterback. Drake London has himself a good year. So there's going to be Tank Dell was on IR near the end of the year, and now with his healthy C.J. Stroud and rapport, could be a top 5 receiver. So again, I have these discussions and these videos is that I want you guys to think outside the box and project to where it's going, not the direct copy and paste. Everyone's going to tell you, these guys finished on top last year, drafted again in that order. That's why other podcasts suck. You can't listen to this stuff because it's copy and paste, all right? So if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe, thumbs up. Those are your top 5 receivers potentially. We're just having an early discussion here, having some fun. Thumbs up, guys, and drop a comment below. Let me know who you think is on top for this year. Appreciate you guys. I'm out.